I want to talk today about finding wisdom. And I could have called this other things. I could have called it, what are we here to do? Or I could have called it, who am I really? Or I could have called it, why did I come here? Maybe that one might be the most appropriate. You know, when I was a kid growing up, it didn't take me long, about age 12 or 13, I began really questioning, why am I here? What did I come here to do? Now, at age 12 or 13, you might not have been asking that. I don't know if I'm unique or different in any way, but, you know, I began reading Sigmund Freud, and I was reading Albert Camus, existentialist writer, and I was really trying to sort out, what is life about? I saw us like rats just running around in a maze. Have you ever seen scientists who are working with rats, and the rat is trying to find the cheese and just running through the maze until they find the cheese, you know, and then they get the cheese, or not. And I felt like life was like that. I saw us all like rats, just running around in a maze, not knowing what we're about or what we're here to do, but we're just running around. I remember in school writing some poetry to that effect. And some of the poetry actually had a even more, what do I call it? Difficult subject matter than that. And the teacher especially sought me out and said, are you okay? You going to be all right? You know, I think she was concerned. And I'm really glad for those people who are concerned. You know, I think she thought I might be suicidal, and I hid that. I was. Because I couldn't figure out, what did I come here for? Have you ever asked yourself, what am I here to do? Sometimes I've talked with people who have just retired, and they're so glad to retire. They've looked forward to it for years. They've invested in their retirement fund. They have invested in, you know, all these hours of work, and finally I can do what I want. What is that? Okay, so for a while they may work on the lawn, and they may golf. They may travel, but what is it? And you've probably heard me say that I don't really like the word retired. I prefer the word refired, because we can get fired up about something new in our lives, some new direction in our lives. We can choose then what it is that we really want to do. But the truth is, at any time in our lives, we can choose what is ours to do. I don't want to do any kind of work where I'm thinking, I wish I were doing something else. I mean, even when I was a janitor, I saw meaning in it. Even when I was cleaning oil sludge out of the canal in Wichita, Kansas, I saw meaning in it. Even when I was teaching small children how to swim, I saw meaning in it. So I'm encouraging us to love what we do, but first, listen. There's going to be 5 L's here. Listen. Listen to who you really are. Listen to the inner wisdom that is there. Now, wisdom is the power of the month. In Unity, we celebrate 12 different powers. And they are connected with the apostles. And, you know, we believe that each one of these powers is innately within us. The color that goes with the power is yellow. So I decided to wear my school bus yellow shirt. You know, it's like, where are my sunglasses? So first, listen. Now, for about 35 years, I have studied the Dao De Qing. One of my favorite writers of the Dao De Qing, or translators, is Stephen Mitchell. Now, I'm, of course, very influenced by Hebrew scriptures and Christian scriptures. The Hebrew scriptures say that reverence and awe for God is the beginning of wisdom, it says in the Psalms. So it's about understanding our true constitutional position of realizing that God and I are connected. And when I really get into the depths of who I am, I'm experiencing that presence of God. The Dao De Qing, in the 14th and 15th readings, I'm just going to read a portion of that, say this: approach it, and there is no beginning. Follow it, and there is no end. You can't know it, but you can be it. At ease in your own life. Just realize where you come from. This is the essence of wisdom. So the Tao is about being. I know, I sometimes get caught up in doing. And I always find more to do. Are you like that? Is anyone else here like that? A little driven? Like there's always more to do? And I found in ministry, I'm never finished. It's never accomplished. There's always more to do. So I work faster. And the faster I go, the more I see there is to do. It's like a hamster wheel. You remember hamster wheels? Those little cages? And the hamster inside, and he'd get on the wheel, and he'd start running, and the faster he'd run, the faster the wheel would go, and the faster he would run, and the faster the wheel would go. Right? And in our culture, we sometimes get so caught up in performance that we forget about being. So this is talking about being. In the 15th reading, it says this: do you have the patience to wait till your mud settles and the water is clear? Can you remain unmoving till the right action arises by itself? The master doesn't seek fulfillment, not seeking, not expecting. She is present and can welcome all things. Are there any golfers here? Are there any people who are hacks? Yeah, okay, good. All right. I've tried to golf. I love golf, but I don't claim to be good at it. It's always a learning experience for me. And many golf courses have water, ponds, lakes. And they have received many of my golf balls. I realized early on in golf that I better have a good way to fish a golf ball out of the water. You know, I would find where the ball had gone on, the mud is still stirring. And I might have to wait just a little bit for it to settle so I can see clearly. That's what this 15th reading of the Dao De Qing is talking about, is that we first need to listen. We need to just wait. We need to settle. We call it meditation, or you can just relax and breathe and let things settle so that the inner wisdom, who you really are, can come forth and can speak to you. It's about listening. Let me tell you about somebody who listened. This person grew up through life just loving to golf. And this is my oldest brother, H.O. Loved to golf. He would practice in the backyard. He would go work at the golf course. He would practice at the golf course. I mean, he was really good too. And he would try different things. He was a baseball pitcher, but his life didn't have a real direction about what it was he really wanted to do. He didn't know. He enjoyed life and did what he wanted. But, you know, he had gone to college and then got out, and gone to college and then got out. Trying to figure out, what am I here to do? What do I really like? So he needed to listen. He needed to listen to, what is it that really energizes me? What is it that I really enjoy doing? What is it that really calls to me? He wasn't looking at, what do other people do? He was looking at, what really pulls me? What energizes me, stretches me? What helps me to grow? So he was listening. And here's the second L. So the first one is listen. The second one is learn. Learn from the experiences of your life. My brother, H.O., began learning, okay, let me look at the things that most interest me. Let me look at the things that most energize me. Who am I? What is it that I really want to do? So look at yourselves. I'm asking each of you to look at yourselves and ask yourself the question, who am I? And really listen. And then learn. Learn from the experiences of your life. What is it that energizes you? What is it that stretches you? What is it that helps you to grow? What is it that pulls you forward to reach and connect with the needs in our world, in our community, in our lives? What my brother realized was he loved little children. I mean, it was, as long as I knew my brother, he loved little children, and he was good with them. My father was very, very busy. Very, very busy. I think when he passed away, we counted 41 boards or something that he had served on, and he was like into finances and financial advisor. He was very busy. So in many ways, my male role model was my brother, H.O. He was patient and kind and intuitive about how to work with children and could help them learn. So he went back to college the third time, this time to major in education. And he became a teacher, and he started out being a second grade teacher, but then became a kindergarten teacher and was a kindergarten teacher for a long, long time. And he was amazing with kindergarten students. They loved him. Have you ever watched the movie Kindergarten Cop? He had this way with kids where he could relate with them and work with them. He listened, and then he learned from his own life, what is my life about? And he applied himself. And so he excelled. So listen to what's going on in your life. I said 2 weeks ago, mentioned the idea, which really caught a lot of people's interest, about doing a metaphysical interpretation of your own life. Looking at, what is my life really teaching me? What is my life really leading me to do? So listen and learn. Watch what energizes you, stretches you, helps you to grow. And then the third L, link. So listen, learn, and link. Link with those who can help support you in that path. Link with those who can help support your dream and your passion. Have you ever had a passion and a desire and you went to somebody to tell them about it and they said something like, "Why would you do that? Is there any money in it? What makes you think you could do that?" It's heartbreaking when I see kids being told that, or adults. Link with those people who help support your mission and your vision. In our Absolute Abundance class, which, by the way, our third level, and it's open to everybody. This is the master's level, but it's open to everybody. Flight is going to start on May 11th. And in Absolute Abundance, we've learned about developing and following a vision, a mission for our lives. That really energizes us and helps us to grow and to expand. But it's important to link with people who can support that. So find those that you can really connect with. Find those you trust. Find those that you can really support each other in the process. And by the way, that's one of the main purposes of a spiritual community like this, is to support one another. Person after person has told me that what has helped them the most here has been the community. The people who are watching out for each other, who are there for one another, who are supporting each other. So, listen to who you are, to what's really going on inside. Learn from the events of your life so that you can see the direction of your life in terms of what energizes you and helps you to grow. Link with those who can support you in that, and then launch. Launch into an area that you are feeling called to, and it may be a baby step. It might start with some volunteer opportunity. You know, a lot of us have ended up with careers because we volunteered. I volunteered as a prayer chaplain. Look what happened to me. So volunteering can be a way to try things out and see, does this fit me? Does this feel good for me? We can try things we've had an interest in but haven't done before. Maybe it's art. It's not too late. It's never too late. You can take art classes. We have a writing class. I saw Sue somewhere. There you are. There are lots of ways in which you can explore and begin to take those baby steps. So launch. And then here's the fifth L. And it could be a couple things. Hold on loosely or let go of the results. That is, don't be so obsessed with perfection that you think it has to be perfect the first time out. In fact, anything that is worth your life, anything that is worth your calling, will be a lifelong process where you never completely achieve it. It always keeps leading you forward. So hold on loosely. I know it's a paradox. To be passionate about something, to be committed to something, and also to not be real attached to it. It's kind of an art to do that. That goes back to a Taoist concept of Wu Wei. W-U-W-E-I, Wu Wei, which means no action or non-action. But it's not non-action. It's really acting without having to force it. When I watch a basketball player who's in the zone, it might be Curry with San Francisco. When I see a basketball player that's really in the zone, they're not sitting there thinking, okay, how do I make a three-point shot? Let me read some books and let's see. Let me come over here to the coach. Hang on, everybody. I'm going to talk to the coach about how to make this three-point shot. He's practiced it so much that it becomes natural. It looks so effortless. In fact, that's another way to assess what is mine to do. What is it that you love so much that you just get in the flow and you're like a fish in the water, and there's a sense of it not having to be an effort? Wu Wei is that. Yeah, it requires work, it requires practice, but it becomes second nature. So we just engage and we do what we are. We do what we are. We've listened to who we are. We've learned from experiences about who we are. We have linked with people who help support us in that discovery of who we are. We've launched and begun baby steps, so we're learning more and more of who we are, so that when we do something, we're not so attached to the results. It's hard to believe. I know it's hard to believe. But occasionally, someone will talk to me about how I could have done something better in my sermon. I know, right? And I'm so grateful, because there are those who are like, oh, I can see a better way to do this. And so it's helpful. It's helpful feedback. And in fact, there are some people that I really value their feedback and insights. It helps me to see some of my blind spots. It helps me to not, it's not personal. It's not. Because I am here to be what I am, to continue to work on that, continue to improve on that. But I'm here to be what I am. I think of someone that I know from Wichita, Kansas. His name is Balbir Mathur. Balbir Mathur was born in India, came to the United States with very little money, very poor, and wanted to figure out, how do you make money? How do you attain power? And so he became a very successful businessman, and took many international flights in his work. And one day he was flying over the Mediterranean, and as he looked down, he saw, wow, it is so small. And then a thought appeared in his mind. How does this look from God's perspective? And suddenly he saw the whole earth as just a tiny speck. And he had this out-of-body experience while he's flying in this plane, which changed his life radically. For some time after that, he could not walk. Doctors couldn't figure out what happened. His sister worked with him. He began doing a fast. He got better, healed, then could walk. He changed his life based on the vision he had in that airplane. And he began going to world areas, different countries, and planting trees. He's like one of the modern Johnny Appleseeds of our day. He started going to places like India and Pakistan and other areas, started planting fruit trees because he saw the need for the earth to be replenished, to have more moisture in the earth, more trees and fruit to feed the poor, and working with people about the responsibility of how to take care of a tree, how to live responsibly with the earth, how to produce their own food. An 8th grade class in Wichita, Kansas at Wilbur Middle School heard about this, and they did the first fundraiser for Balbir and raised $303 in the 8th grade class. That was the beginning of a nonprofit called Trees for Life. You can look it up online, Trees for Life. It's based out of Wichita, Kansas. And more people became part of that effort, so that in countries in Central America, in South America, in Asia, millions of fruit trees have been planted with the cooperation of people in those countries who have learned how to care for these trees and how to plant them. And it's all with the 1-to-2 ratio. So each person who receives help has to in turn help 2 others. And so it grows exponentially. And then what they found out, Balbir and Trees for Life found out, was the Moringa tree has, every part of the Moringa tree is edible. And it works in drought conditions. It grows in drought conditions. So the Moringa tree has 7 times as much vitamin C as orange juice, 4 times as much vitamin A as carrots, 4 times as much calcium as milk. Moringa trees. To date, or at least as of a couple of years ago, the article I read was a couple of years old, but by a couple of years ago, 20 million Moringa trees have been planted around the world through Trees of Life, Trees for Life. And it all came from this person who listened and who learned from his experiences and began gathering and linking with him people who could support that vision. And then he began launching out into it and investing in it. And he loved it. And it's just borne incredible fruit all over the world. So they not only plant trees, they've become very invested in education and books. So books have been distributed all over the country through Trees for Life, and training of teachers, helping teachers to be trained. It all came from listening on an airplane. It's a true story. I know this guy. It's amazing. He just retired. What is it that you are called to do? I think he retired at age 78. But he's still active. What is it you are called to do? Find wisdom to know what is yours to do. Please repeat after me. Where I am, God is. There's no absence of God. There's no absence of wisdom. I am divine wisdom. I claim divine wisdom. I live my life as the divine presence living as me. And so it is. Amen.